I would like to invite our faculty, Mr. Vinod Kumar sir, to introduce our guest speaker, Mr. Venkatesh, the speaker of the next segment on the topic mental health care for healthcare professional. Over to you, sir.
This is my privilege to welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Venkatesh, Professor in PG, Department of Social Work, Ramakrishna Mission, Vivekananda College, Chennai. He is a founder, director of Niyamita E-Counseling Private Limited, India. He is completed VSc in Zoology, New College of Science, uh, Master of Science in Social Network and specialization in Human Resource Development and Labor Welfare. MPhil in Labor Management, Madurai Kamarajar University, and he is organizing the Niyamita, a new generation e-counseling model for individual facing social changes by providing a counsel individual in a customized manner based on the insight in their personal characteristics and problems. I would like to invite you for the conference, sir. So over to you, sir.
Good morning to learned and practicing professionals and budding learners. Every word during yesterday's inaugural speech of our management members, Honorary Secretary Mr. Philip and Mr. George Cherian, Administration Director, Principal Dr. Deepa Philip, and Head of the Department, Microbiology Department, Dr. Anusha Rohit, reflected the need of holistic wellness for health professional fraternity. By conducting this national seminar on the theme proves their words in action. This initiative will go a long mile at individual level and to the fraternity as it is the need of the hour. So slide, sir.
Yes, I'll share.
So whether the slide is working?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just a minute.
Thank you. Let me continue back. My session part is to reiterate the importance and the ways and means to protect and enrich the emotional needs and well-being of the frontline health workers towards maintaining a harmonious work-life balance. Next slide, sir. National Institute of Mental Health and Science, NIMHANS, along with UNICEF, has come out with the information manual for psychosocial care for frontline healthcare workers during COVID-19, in which the specific stressors that are particular to the people within frontline fraternity is addressed. It is expected for the affected individuals, both directly and indirectly, to feel stressed and worried. Some of these fears and behaviors are realistic, while many are just born out of lack of knowledge, rumors, and misinformation. Our management are conducting this seminar only to break this barrier. Next slide, please, sir. As we are aware of COVID-19 as a pandemic and it is outcome at medical level, Infomedic is also one of the outcome of any pandemic at social level. Yes, unbelievable information spreads far and wide. Many misinformation is an outcome of lack of basic knowledge and easy spread of rumors. Few caused due to personal interest of such, you can keep in the same slides. Few caused due to personal interest of people too. This becomes the stressors, thus placing every one of us in a vulnerable situation. A sort of insecure feeling, creating anxiety and stress is due to this infodemic. Next slide. Every one of you, when on duty, are working in the line of danger for the sake of common good to the people. Sir, you can go to the slide, sir. This is the first slide. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Every one of you, when on duty, are working in the line of danger for the sake of common good to the people. The very purpose of operating, in spite of knowing what every one of you are undergoing by yourself, is only to enable and empower you to put the knowledge and skill to action. Yes, the stressors are created by the unverified news and incidents that put you in vulnerable state and mental and emotional level. This state has to be dealt with by coping mechanism of self, which determines self capacity to recover quickly from difficulties and portray toughness. Yes, that is all about resilience. So next slide. Let's go into deep about how the stress affects us. In the context of COVID-19, it is possible that a frontline healthcare workers would feel anxious about having contracted the virus and the possibility of him or her in infecting his or her family and loved ones. Continuous exposure to critical work setting can instigate anxiety. Anxiety may in turn lead to the worker finding it difficult to sleep. This is often accompanied by a deep sense of emotional exhaustion. Their family members' fear and anxieties add on to the pre-existing turmoil. The daily routine of the person within family contacts would change. The frontline healthcare workers would be expected to work on a war footing and would get to spend very little at home. This would lead to strains in the roles and responsibility of all the family members. Some of the frontline healthcare workers would even have to stay away from the family, either due to work or quarantine due to exposure. Next slide, sir. Bereavement, which means a loss of loved ones. The grief resulting is continuous stress, which at higher level takes to depression and so on. Next slide, sir. Some of the mental illness seen among frontline healthcare workers, and it is commonly observed symptoms are adjustment disorder. Adjustment disorder have got the symptoms of sadness of mood, anxiety of worry, fear of contracting an infection, or a combination of all these. And continue to it, persistent preoccupation with illness worries, inability to cope up, and some degree of dysfunction in their daily life. Sleep and appetite disturbance. They may not be having a proper sleep and also hungry to have the food. In adolescent, these symptoms might be associated with oppositional behavior of transit. Depression disorder is another illness which have got the symptoms of low mood, decreased or loss of capacity to enjoy things. They may not feel liveliness in their life, in their day-to-day routine performances. Decreased energy will be seen in the with the individual, and sleep and appetite disturbance, as in the earlier case, marked tiredness after even minimum effort, not due to any medical cause, including COVID-19. Reduction in activity or feeling restlessness, lowered attention or concentration, a complaint of poor memory. They lose concentration, thus the memory is really become weak, and loss of self-esteem and self-confidence. They just be mechanic, monotonous, but with the fear occupied in their mind always. Ideas that one is worthless or has done something wrong. Feeling of helplessness, no help will be available, as it is destined is the feelings they get in their mind, and that there is no hope for their future. Death wishes or suicidal thought or attempts. I may not be exaggerating with all these things because it is not easy task for seeing people dying very often in their duty time, right? And another disorder is substance use disorder. Those who are having an habit of consuming alcohol or tobacco, or they're prone for this illness. This substance disorder have got the symptom of increased use with some dysfunction in daily activities, continued use despite physical, social, and mental harm, strong desire to drink and smoke, difficulties in controlling the use of drinking habits or smoking habits, persistence of drinking or smoking despite obvious harmful consequences. They know, they realize, but still they may not be able to control it. Higher importance given to use of substance than to other activities. increased tolerance or smoking or drinking more to get the same effect. Physical withdrawal state or strong physical symptoms when stopping to take it. Generalized anxiety disorder is another illness and got the symptoms of persistent nervousness, tension, restlessness, or feeling on edge, irritability, muscles feeling tense and tight, poor concentration, sleep disturbances, physical symptoms such as excessive sweating, feeling in light-headed, palpitations, dizziness, and stomach discomfort. These are all the symptoms for the generalized anxiety disorder. The next follows is panic attack, which have got the symptoms of recurrent unexpected attacks of severe anxiety. A panic attack that reach a peak within a few minutes and last for a few more minutes. There is associated fear of having more attacks, and they expect, whether they get or not, their expectation in their thought level will make them worse. And it is unavoidable avoidance of triggers of panic attacks. Many of them might feel that they are about to die or lose control or go mad and will end up in medical emergency settings. Another illness is phobias, which have got the symptoms of irrational excessive fear of crowds in the wake of COVID-19 due to fear of infection. In certain cases, if there is excessive avoidance of crowds to the point of being housebound, it is called agoraphobia. They just isolate themselves in their room at their house. Okay. Another is anxiety symptoms heighten around the situation, causing phobia accompanied by avoidance. The next illness is called obsessive compulsive disorder, which is popularly, we will term it as OCD, which have got the symptoms of repetitive, distressing, intrusive thoughts that are not in keeping with person's standards of knowledge. Associated actions that seemingly relieve the tension. A common example among frontline health workers is that they are contaminated and wash repeatedly to reduce anxiety. It's a compulsive disorder. Okay, so compulsively they just go on washing their hands and wash repeatedly to reduce anxiety. Okay, they often recognize that these thoughts are senseless but cannot control them due to fear of contracting COVID-19 through transmission. Such a persistent. Another one illness is called a severe mental disorders. The level of illness, the height of it, when the height of the illness, mental disturbance comes, the severe mental disorders is observed. The very symptom of this illness is unexplained irritability. They behave very aggressively, talking or smiling to self. There may not be any reason, but still they find something interesting, or they smile to themselves and they speak to themselves. Unreasonable suspiciousness, hearing voices when nobody is around. They alone will be able to hear, and they will be in their own world, which we will call it as hallucination. They will be speaking. They will be in their own world, that they be interacting with people. Okay, and their fears and their they respond to their mind, which makes the world for them. Then false belief, that is delusion, and poor self-care. Next slide, please, sir. Sir, next slide, sir. Yes. Having seen about illness, general awareness. This slide is just to create a general awareness to the participants. The illness are assessed. The way of assessment, the level based on the level of assessment, the interventions can be given. So, because this assessment will be done only by the professional who are practiced for it, like psychiatrists and social workers, medical social workers. This is just to create an awareness among the audience. The slide is prepared. There are perceived stress scale. For anxiety, we have got a scale called generalized anxiety disorder, GAD-7 we will term it as. And for depression, we will call it as PHQ-9, that is Patient Health Questionnaire to measure depression. And ISI, Insomnia Severity Index, to assess the extent of sleeping trouble. When we have seen in the earlier slide, we have seen the disturbance of sleep and appetite in almost all the illness. So this insomnia severity index assessment will be popularly assessed and evaluated. And we have self-reporting questionnaire. We have a self-reporting questionnaire, which is a general tool to understand health condition. Based on the assessment, then the intervention can be given to the individuals. Okay. So next slide, sir. All frontline healthcare professionals have been affected adversely during the COVID-19 pandemic outbreak. The mental health of all the workers need to be kept at optimal level in order to continue to effectively disperse their duties and responsibilities at individual level. A breathing exercise can be practiced. So this is an intervention slide. You can really, get into this. This will be very helpful. And this is the very purpose of this national seminar. So, because whatever the problem we have mentioned, I have highlighted, is undergone by every one of you and me. So, as an intervention, at basic level, we can practice, we can get to know about it, and we can do it. Breathing exercise, which you can begin with just 5 minutes a day and increase your time as the exercise becomes easier and more comfortable. If 5 minutes feels too long, start with just 2 minutes and then practice it, make yourself comfortable, and then you can go to 5 minutes and 10 minutes and so on. Practice multiple times a day, scheduled set times, or practice conscious breathing as it is needed. Generally, 3 types of breathing can help to reduce this fear or to reduce the stress. The first one is pursed lip breathing. To do it, you have to relax your neck and shoulder, keep your mouth closed, inhale slowly through your nose for 2 counts. Slowly through your nose for 2 counts. Or purse your lips as though you were going to whistle, and then start exhaling. Exhale slowly by blowing air through your pursed lip for a count of 4. So as you have inhaled for 2 counts, you are going to exhale it. As you are going to exhale it very slowly, you have to exhale the air for the count of 4. Then next is breath focus technique, where you are going to concentrate on your breath. This deep breathing technique uses imagery or focused words and phrases. You can choose a focused word that makes you smile, feel relaxed, or that is simply neutral to think about. Example include peace, let go, or relax, all is well. Okay, so like that you choose your word and just concentrate on that. But it can be any word that suits you to focus on and repeat through your practice. As you build up your breath focus practice, you can start with a 10-minute session. Gradually increase the duration until your sessions are at least 20 minutes. I'm just talking about 10 minutes breathing, 20-minute breathing and concentration. It is not an easy job. It is not an easy job because the level of assessment is going to affected level of affection is going to determine the practice to make this to do this focused breathing. You have to sit or lie down in a comfortable place. Bring your awareness to your breath. without trying to change how you are breathing. Alternate between normal and deep breath few times. Notice any differences between normal breath and deep breath. You have to notice it. You have to concentrate on your inhale and exhale. Okay? Notice how your abdomen expands with deep inhalations. Note how shallow breathing feels compared to deep breathing. Practice your deep breath for a few minutes. Place one hand below your belly button. Keep your belly relaxed and notice how it rises with each inhale and falls with each exhale. You must do it with full concentration. That is what all about. Okay. The other third and final one, which I'm just talking about very basic breathing exercise, which is the third one is diaphragmatic breathing. Belly breathing can help you use your diaphragm properly. Do belly breathing exercise when you are feeling relaxed and rested. Don't do this while you are working or while you are performing your day-to-day activities. Do it, find some time and do this exercise. Do belly breathing exercise. This will really work out and give you a relaxation. Practice diaphragmatic breathing for 5 to 10 minutes and for 3 to 4 times per day. It is not necessary that you have to do this breathing at a stretch of 15 minutes. You can take it, just breathe 3 or 4 times in a day and practice it, so that you will be you will be able to make it very conveniently to yourself. The next one is mindful meditation. Mindful meditation. Mindful meditation is another technique where you will be able to relax yourself and reduce the stress and the stressors which create stress to you. Mindful relaxation, mindfulness sitting meditation with breathe as the primary object of awareness, arranging to spend the time in a comfortable but attentive posture. Preferably sit up without leaning back for support. If you are mid-40s or you are not able to sit very on floor, you can just sit erect in a chair where you can rest your spinal in an erect manner. Okay, but ensure that you are sitting without leaning back for support. Okay? If that is possible for you, and make it possible also. Okay, to take the best out of your exercises. And at time and in a place where you won't be disturbed, sitting in a dignified posture, head balanced on shoulders, arms, and hands resting in a comfortable position. This is a time for allowing ourselves to switch from our normal mode of doing and moving and reacting to one of simply being. Just being attentive to what's happening within your own awareness, right here and right now. You have to be, mindful of what you are doing. You are going to be as you are, but you are going to be very consciously going to do that. That is mindful sitting is all about. And as you sit, just noticing sensation of breath. Just notice how your abdomen moves on each in-breath and out-breath. The movement of air through your nostrils, a slight movement of chest and shoulders, just bringing you awareness to whichever part of your breath cycle and whatever it is the most vivid. Whether it is your tummy or your chest or your shoulder or the movements of air through your nostril, just mind it. Mind it with consciousness. This will definitely relax you. This will take you from your worries, and with the 5 minutes of relaxation will go a long mile to come up from the stress and stressors. Noticing the entire cycle of breath from the movement of the air, of the air coming in and filling the lungs and extending the abdomen slightly, the movement of air going out, and being aware of the pause, the stopping point in between the in-breath and the out-breath, and the out-breath and the next in-breath. It's all one movement, but you are going to do it because you are going to do it consciously. This is going to give you a relaxation. Okay, you will feel this as there is something easy for someone, but for someone may feel that no, it is not going to work out for you. But whatever the impression you are getting right now, but please make it in a practice and do it. You will see the result. The result is going to make you practice it in your day-to-day. You will notice the attention from time to time shifting away from breath. You will not be able to concentrate because you have got a persistent worry in your mind. So when you are just trying to shift and concentrate in your breathing, it is not going to leave you. Definitely, it will not going to leave you. So you will have a shifting. You will not be able to concentrate. But the consistent practice of this mindfulness breathe is going to ensure that the shifting, the shift away of your thoughts will reduce, and you will see the result. So the mind may wander into fantasies or memories, thoughts of the days, worries that you might have, things you need to do. And without giving yourself a hard time, when you notice that has happened, gently but firmly bring your awareness back to the sensation of breathing. So every day on your duty time, it is not going to be an easy cakewalk as earlier. You are going to see so many death or so many sufferings, people struggling for breathing, etc. This worriness creates an insecurity, security, and preoccupied with the same thought that has to be broken by doing this exercise. Okay. The next one, mindful breathing practice, meditation. You have got progressive muscle relaxation. The progressive muscle relaxation is a method that helps to handle physiological arousal, that tension. In progressive muscle relaxation, you tense a group of muscles as you breathe in. You can see when you go to a gym, there will be every gym bodybuilders are not coming only for making their body tuned. There are people who just come and they just do as an addiction. They just lift the weight enormously. Okay, this is a coping mechanism. They just take it. Okay, so this muscle relaxation technique is one of the coping mechanism. Okay, this by adapting to this coping mechanism, you are building the physical health better and better. So as it is constructive, you can very much practice this progressive muscle relaxation technique. Relax them and breathe out. The techniques involve alternative tension and relaxation. In all of the body's major muscle groups, you work on your muscle groups in a certain order. This is based on the theory that when your body is physically relaxed, you feel less anxious. When it has to be relaxed, when it is over tensed, then it starts relaxing. When the relaxation starts, your anxious become less. So this is the very purpose of muscle relaxation technique. And to do this, I hope I have got more time, so I can just go through this technique also, how to do this. Make sure you are in a setting that is quiet and comfortable. Okay. when you tense a particular muscle group, do so vigorously without without straining for 7 to 10 seconds. You may want to count 1001, 1002 like that, and so on, as a way marking of seconds. Concentration on what is happening. Feel the build-up of tension in each particular muscle group. It is often helpful to visualize the particular muscle group being tensed. When you releases the muscles, do so abruptly and then relax, enjoying the sudden feeling of limpness. Allow the relaxation to develop for at least 15 to 20 seconds before going on to the next group of muscles. You can very much observe this in gym. So people who exhaustively put weight, after 3 minutes or 5 minutes at that count, they will not be able to even get up from that bench. I hope many students will be going for gym and they will be witnessing this scene, whatever I'm explaining. So when an exhaustive weight is beyond that limit, for some it will be even 50 kg is an exhaustive weight. For some it is even 500 kg is it may be the exhaustive weight. So based on the individual, when you try to do it, the muscles get tensed. So when you suddenly relax it, you will not be able to even get up and get out of the bench itself from the gym. So yeah, numbness will feel, and then started relaxing, where your worriness or whether your concentration on your day-to-day pressure, stressors will go up. And this is very constructive because you are building your physique. And when all these things, as yesterday's second session where madam was talking about a nutritional practice, when you supplement this exercise with proper nutrition, then you are taking this COVID-19 situation in a very positive and constructive manner. And you will start enjoying, instead of worriness, you will start enjoying it, as you are going to see only the positivity at every level. Once you are comfortably supported in a quiet place, then do all this exercise, because when you are already in that's what the assessment matters. When you are in a serious mental illness, you may not be able to. When an hallucination level, the individual is, they cannot be practicing this. This is a very basic exercise. These exercise I'm just recommending only for the beginners and for the one who feel the heat right now. Or if already felt, please consult the professionals, and based on the assessment and the level of symptoms, they will be helping you with appropriate techniques. Then comes is loving kindness meditation and self-care tips. See, anything you must feel purposeful. So when you self-care yourself, then we will just dress up, and when we want ourselves to be attractive, when we find our life interesting, when our education and our knowledge, everything is given only when everything is going to come to help when things are going against. So when it is an easy flow, when you dress up, when you are enjoying, it is not a big thing. It is not at all a big thing. When everything goes wrong, but still you just said what you are. That is what the education or the awareness, the purpose of this conference gets fulfilled. So take care of the self-care tips. Before I am going to loving kindness meditation, let me just tell you few tips. Routine life, okay, which is purposeful, and ensure breaks and adequate sleep. Have minimum sleep a day. Okay, ensure that you are sleeping. Okay, because the sleep, if the dysfunction of day-to-day activity will definitely disturb your sleep and appetite. So ensure that you eat properly, nutritious food, and you are having a good sound sleep. And keep in touch with relatives and friends. Make the days lively. Yes, of course, we have to stay away. We have to maintain social distance. Everything. It doesn't mean that you have to cut your social relationship, because human being is a social animal. Okay, it is a very basic characteristics of the human. He is a social animal. So socialization should not be cut off at any time, at any level. So maintain social distance, and we have so many tools for reaching people. So keep in touch with relatives and friends, with with your love and care. Just relate to them. It speaks a lot. Okay, not just for the lips. Stop having the lifestyle for your pay for your at your lips. Please come out from all those and ensure that you are relating to people from your heart. Okay, carry out some activities and hobbies unrelated to work. It is not that your students, as you are all budding professionals, yes, you have to fully concentrate on your studies and equip yourself, because this 2 years or 3 years study or 4 years course is going to going to determine your 35 years of career life. Definitely, you have to. But in this pandemic situation, if the over commitment will make you monotonous, boredom. This results in outbreak, exhaustion. You will feel exhausted, and then at one point of time, everything will be broken. So just do it. Do something. Whether you are going to cook in your house, it's also because you are going to cut. You are going to break the normal course of the thought process of your mind. So do anything. It is need not that you have to again go out and play and you have to be on ground. No, not at all. Whatever unrelated to your work, but do it with passion. And when you are doing it, enjoy it. Because it is now addressed in the conference, you should not go and do it because it is as an exercise. No, choose the exercise which suits you and which you enjoy and do that. Then the result will be very much good. Next is exercise regularly and have a healthy diet, which I have already spoken when I was covering the second point, to have adequate sleep. And the next one is practice relaxation exercise like those mentioned above, or yoga, which I have already spoken about. I also mentioned 3 techniques, breathing techniques. So relaxation, breathing exercise is a good relaxation technique, and do yoga, do meditation, okay, and do it you are not going to, you don't have a mind that you are going, if you are going to be a master in it, you are going to reap the benefit out of it. Not at all. Even as a beginner, without any guidance, just you have got a Google Guruji, so you just try to Google it and try to practice it. When you find the fruit from those exercise, it will take you to make yourself perfect. But start doing it. But do it. Don't be always very professional, and don't look for 100% perfection in anything. And next is religious activities. Be spiritual, whatever it is. Okay, do it very religiously. And if people are no religious person, go to temples, mosques, or church, where you will definitely have a good vibration, which will help you to relax, no, relax your state of mind, and it will be a positive thing. Then make time for yourself and your family. It is more important. Once again, I am telling you, social animal, human being, we are social animals. We cannot be very much target oriented, logical in thinking. Okay, it is not going to take us anywhere. It is only your kith and kin is going to make your life successful one. So do not avoid it. Make time for yourself and your family. It is not necessary that you have to go to an extended family circle and find meaning of it. Just as an inner circle, kith and kin, that's enough. But make it. Okay. Coming back to loving kindness and meditation script. Okay. So how to this kind of meditation helps the frontline health work professionals to reorient themselves to the purpose of doing the work that they do. This meditation will enhance the positive regards the frontline professional as for themselves and others. Your profession is a very noble task, no doubt about it. Yes, you are guarded, and you have really taken ahead the human race ahead. But still, you have to do this with patience and love. Otherwise, you are going to be affected. You are going to be affected. How to love how to do this meditation? You have to be happy, see yourself, see happiness in yourself, and ensure by saying to yourself, okay, may I be happy. May I have ease of well-being. All this start now. Sit quietly and focus your attention on a breathe, moment by moment. As you continue to breathe in and out gently, repeat silently. Okay, whatever the phrases you want to make it, you can make it. You can make it. Okay, do it very patiently and see happiness is reassured at mental level, and find a love and care when you are doing this. This will make your personality very compassion when you are coming and doing your day duty. So this vibration, what you are going to set in, is going to be vibrated in your work environment, and this will have a definite positive um, environment and positive positivity in your work life. And there are, see, I am just concentrated more on my presentation at individual level, just to refresh and just to touch upon family level and social level. Family level, because family makes the people, okay. Marriage makes a man perfect, complete. Marriage makes a man complete. Okay, is a phrase we generally say. So this family, to reassure your family, the whatever the tiredness or exhaustion you have got, burnout at your work life, you can just bounce back by spending a quality time at family. Okay, some ways that you can support your kids. It is not that only the family have to support you. It is by way of supporting your family members, you are going to become stronger. That is the uniqueness of family socialization, but not in any other socialization it comes. But it is only in socializing at family level this comes. Okay, supporting your own people, you will get strength of it. So remember, you though you have got a awareness, and though you have got the facts and figures, very updated facts and figures in your hand, in your mind. Okay, it is not necessary that it has to be informed to your people. Not necessary, because you are a professional. You know the demarcation. You know the when not, why not, why, so what, etc. But not all your family members are to that extent professional. So reassure them. Okay, Okay, stick to the facts and let them know to the extent they have to be known. They have to be known. Okay, take care of them, but reassure your presence when you are there. Nothing is going to go. Give that confidence to them. Empower them. Okay, don't leave them very ignorant also by educating or by creating awareness, by ensuring that in our earlier speakers also have mentioned uh, new normal. Okay, the term new normal. Okay, nothing is new normal. Whatever you speak as new normal, just washing your hands, as a doctor, as a healthcare professional, you have been doing it just 20 years back. Now recently everything disposal has come. 25 years back, a doctor in a clinic, in his own clinic, used to put a thermometer in a hot water and wash it, clean it, will ensure that it is free for the next to be used for the next patient. Okay, once the other patient goes, by the time he calls the other patient, the doctor itself was cleaning all those things. So the comfortability zone which we have come is now broken. Of course, the PPP, personal protective equipments, which are disposable, have come, but the usage, the practice of usage to set in. Okay, so these things will take time. It is only a matter of time. Only matter of time. And this is going to be part and parcel of your professional life. So don't worry about all this. Okay, there are learned practitioners who is going to evolve and bring new invention, new discovery, whatever it is, practices. They will put practice and ensure that it all again come and make you comfortable to practice your profession. So empower each of your family members, maintain your own calm, don't get agitated. Whatever the burnout you have got in your work at work life, do not show it to them. Maintain your own calmness. Even if people of your own wife, your own children is avoiding you because you have to be in quarantine, don't get emotionally attached and don't evaluate their avoidance. Don't make it. Keep calm. They know, and everything is once again I'm telling you, it's all nature of time. Engage them. Engage them. Engage them. It need not that you have to hug them and take them to the mall or take them out for a ride. It is not that. Engage them purposefully so that this is the mindset of holiness is avoided or not taken to their children's mind. Okay, so engage them, manage their emotions. Okay, ask them to ventilate whatever they feel. Okay, confrontation and assertiveness must be there. Definitely, no doubt about it. When it comes to family, the family socialization, it can be overlooked. But ensure that your family feels safe and secure by your presence, by you continue to be in healthcare professional. That is very, very, very important. Beware, make them aware. Okay, filter and limit media exposure can be overwhelming. As I told you, infodemic. Okay, please minimize the exposure to media for the TRD rating. They may be or the political interest or the personal interest of any group. Okay, they can clash with very alerting sound and music, breaking news with very good vocabulary in English or Tamil, whatever the language. Okay, but it is going to affect the mindset. Okay, educate the them routines. Please at family level, family routines have to be always ensure that family cohesiveness, oneness is always created. This will reduce it. And societal level, it is not in your hand or my hand. It is with the government, with the administrative people. Again, the responsible management like MMM, who have taken their part in ensuring that the health practices are at the workplace, and they want the whole fraternity to be healthy, and they are conducting this. So this kind of positivity and the proper self-aware, creation of self-aware for the professional has to be done at strategical level by society. Okay. Any doubts? I'm closing with this. If sir, any other slides that to be covered now? Sir, next slide. Yeah, I think this is the last. So thank you very much. If you have any doubt, sir, am I on time?
Yes, sir. We have a question answer round, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, if I'm open to take up question. If you want any questions, please raise. You can raise it even in vernacular languages.
I request the audience to raise their questions in the chat box. So your first question, consciousness about self, role, environment, relationship program, planning for self and society, and spirituality may increase your mental health.
Yes, what Dr. Parameshwaran has told, that is what I'm trying to explain it all through this session. Be self-aware. Okay, be self-aware of what your profession is. That is the very intention of this national conference program itself. The first 3 sessions, they have educated it technically, okay, through the experts, and final session, they want to create a self-awareness at emotional level, the importance of emotional state of mind. So this is I go with the word of Dr. Parameshwaran. Yes.
So your first question, what's the difference between suicide and suicidal?
Suicidal is an attempt. Okay. Suicide is an act. Okay. So suicidal thought will come. I want to but suicide is not suicidal. There is a minor difference. The suicidal attempt will result in suicide. If I am correct. If anything to be added by any learned practitioners, they can do add on. Any other questions?
Sir, how can you talk a person out of suicidal thoughts?
Actually, suicidal, we can take this as a separate session. We have NIMANS and all health workers, mental health workers have got a strategy of community gatekeepers. Okay, so the fact is that the person who wants to attempt a suicide is going to leave before a sign that he needs an help. It's an alarm. He will be attempting a word of his helplessness to the surroundings. So awareness of the people like health workers and social workers in the community must be a gatekeeper, where they have to bring the prospect, the vulnerable. I should not say this word prospective here. It is vulnerable person to the counseling session, and when you are counsel them, or when you interact with them and touch upon the suicidal thought, do not use the word suicide. Whether you are intended to, how you are going to, what is the ways and means, whether you are going to hang or whether you are going to take poison. So the community gatekeeper should not be using those words point blank to the vulnerable client, but they have to handle it in the way they come. Even discourage the usage of word doesn't mean that discourage of expressing their thought. it is this comes by practice, and this will come for any social workers and health care. I don't think physical assistance. Come again. Is this physical?
Physician.
It has to be legalized, right? It cannot be done, and no physicians will do that.
Sir, your next question. How can we improve our mental health?
That is what I was just talking about, intervention. In the intervention part in this session, to improve your mental health only, I was giving tips about breathing exercise, ensure that persistent worry, whatever it is not COVID-19 alone, it is whatever it is, whatever disturbs you from normal functioning, okay, that has to be eliminated. How to be eliminated? That individual coping mechanism, individual personality have to decide the coping strategy. Okay, the basic tips we have given is breathing exercise, meditation, yoga, and love and compassion. So these are all the things alone is going to make the environment, the life of the people meaningful. So ensure that the session which we are which covered intervention part is practiced in the day-to-day life.
So your next question. How we control our emotional stress?
By self-awareness. You have to be aware of what disturbs you. It's quite simple. And that self-aware it depends upon your personality. And every person is unique. The personal strength of the personality has to be built. If it is it has to be strengthened. We have to strengthen. But please ensure that you are self-aware of what is happening. And when you are self-aware about the problem which you are going to undergo, it is matter of time. You itself will evolve the result. You will evolve your own ways and means to come out of the problem. So self-aware is to be developed. See, actually, once again, I'm telling you, the whole purpose of this national conference is to reiterate the awareness of what you are having. Do you think that even students are not aware of the technical knowledge which was dealt by other speaker or whatever I am speaking? Everyone knows what we are talking. But the purpose of conducting this conference is to ensure that almost everyone are overlooking our knowledge. We are overlooking our skill. Okay. And preoccupied, and comes in a vicious cycle. So when these kind of reiterating programs, awareness program, ensure that this is practiced inbuilt in our own personality.
So your next question. Yes. How are healthcare workers affected mentally by this pandemic, and how can they overcome it?
I didn't follow. Please come again.
How are the healthcare workers affected mentally by this epidemic, and how can they overcome it?
Very good question. In yesterday's session, the first question was very emotional question was raised. That is, when the health workers become the doctor, if everyone remembers, the question was, the doctor have denied attending to the patient. He advised for COVID, and the 3 days they have kept and then started the treatment. He has not denied. He has not denied his professional service. But he is very logic. He is so professional in treating them. But The fellow members, everyone is emotionally moved. It is the own employee of the doctor and son of own employee. So what? That should, as a doctor or as a health worker, it is you should not be attached sentimentally or relation-wise. There should not be any transference and counter transference also practiced, right? So you have to be very much emotional attachment, bondage to be reduced, to be very professional, to have your professional personality intact. Okay, got it?
Sir, your next question. Is it good to do multitasking, or is it okay to focus on just one goal in terms of career? And does multitasking gives burnout?
Person's ability, but it depends upon the situation. It all depends on the situation. If it is needed, you have to do multitasking. Your personality, or you have to be equipped to do multitasking. But every time a person, right from 5 days in his duty, if he do multitasking, he is going to break. Even if he is very much skilled, he is very much experienced. Yeah, consistent multitasking is not going to. Yeah, research we have shown that. Okay, consistently, even the person is able to do multitasking is not advisable. Okay, but as a budding professional, please be open, develop your strength. Okay, in your learning phase, try to be open and not try to do multitasking, because as you do, you are going to learn, because you are all a professional. You are not studying a theory, arts and science class there. Even science students are doing practical works. Okay, this not an arts subject where you just study and go. So what you study, you are going to practice it. What you are going to practice is going to create confidence in your delivery. So do multitasking to get to practice many things in the duration, 2 years of study duration.
Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitation and made your presence in this great national conference and brought us about the knowledge in mental health for healthcare professionals. Now, I invite Mrs. Aruna, lecturer of Triplum CHS, to deliver the vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. First and foremost, I give thanks to the Almighty God for wonderfully making this day. On behalf of Triple M College of Health Sciences, Department of Life Sciences, it is a great honor and privilege to propose a vote of thanks on this occasion. First of all, I would like to express our deep gratitude to our chief guest speakers, Dr. Arun Kumar Subbaiah, Assistant Professor, Department of Nephrology, AIMS, New Delhi, and Mr. V. Venkatesh, Professor, BG, Department of Social Work, Ramakrishna Mission, Vivekananda College, Chennai, for gracing today's conference. Thank you, sir, for your valuable speech. It was a very interesting and informative session. I would like to express our profound gratitude to our principal, Dr. Deepa C. Philip ma'am, for encouragement, moral support, and guidance in conducting this conference to a great success. Thank you, ma'am. I would also like to thank my colleague, Ms. Lalli Hannah Luke, Senior Lecturer, for her great support extended towards the arrangement of speakers. Thank you, ma'am. My heartiest thanks to my colleague, Ms. Hema Rupini, Lecturer, for her moral support to our comparing desk. Thank you, ma'am. My sincere gratitude for my fellow colleagues and staff of Triple M College of Health Sciences for their fullest cooperation and contribution towards the success of this day. Finally, my heartily congratulations and thanks to my beloved students of Triple M College of Health Sciences and other colleges of Chennai and other districts for your active participation in this event. Thank you all. Once again, I thank everyone for your cordial and kind cooperation extended toward the successful conduct of this virtual conference. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone.
जन गण मन अधिनायक जय हे, भारत भाग्य विधाता। पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा, द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा। विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा, उच्छल जलधि तरंगा। तव शुभ नामे जागे, तव शुभ आशीष मागे। गाहे तव जय गाथा, जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे, भारत भाग्य विधाता। जय हे, जय हे, जय हे, जय 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 हे।
Thank you, audience, for your active participation. Now, the link for the feedback form of our two-day national conference will be sent to your individual email ID for the registered participants. For the participants who participated in the digital poster presentation will be receiving 2 certificates. Thank you all for making this national conference a huge success. Thank you all.